We now present another episode in a radio series based on the world-famous BBC comedy success, Steptoe and Son. With Wilfred Bramble as Albert and Harry H. Corbett as Harold. This week, the three feathers.
Dad? Dad?
Help! Help!
Dad?
Help!
Where are you?
In the lounge!
Dad?
Help!
What are you doing down there? Trying to bite your toenails?
My yogi exercises.
You dirty little man. And is it recommended by your guru that you squat on the floor in grubby grey underpants? But at least they're holy, ain't they? Well, come on, get up then.
Yeah, I can't move, I'm locked. I've got cramp. My legs are knotted.
I've been telling you to get that way for years.
Well, don't just stand there. Undo me.
How long have you been down there?
Since 4 o'clock.
That means there's no tea ready.
How can I get tea ready like this?
You could have rolled out there into the kitchen.
Aren't you going to undo me?
Well, I don't know. How much is it worth?
Nothing.
Nothing? In that case, you won't be using your chair again, so may I borrow it to peruse the Financial Times? Or the FT, as we merchant princes calls it. Oh, yeah. I see the pound is still buoyant on the international exchange. Oh, 2.54 and 32 seconds. 1632 seconds. That isn't bad, is it? 1632. That is a very good improvement.
I'll give you a quid.
After being out on the car all day and coming up with no tea, 2 quid.
30 bob.
30 shilling to a man of property? Oh, come, Sir Albert, you insult me. Is this your textbook? Yoga for beginners. I see where you went wrong. You forgot to oil yourself. It says here that in India, blokes stay like that for weeks, without food or water. I'll leave you there for a couple of weeks. You'll feel much better.
35 bob.
Well, then again, I could put you on a little trolley and pull you about. Yeah, I'll leave you outside the tube station with a begging bowl. Arms for the love of Allah! Arms
You're potty! You're round the twist! Ow! Ow!
What is it?
Pins and needles! Oh! 2 quid. I'll give you 2 quid.
Right. Where is it?
In me jacket, hanging on the skeleton.
Yeah, this fits the skeleton better than it does you, mate. Right, let's have a look at you. Here, you're like one of them little wooden dolls with a round bottom that won't fall over. I think I'll give you a coat of gold paint and put you up on a sideboard. Albert, the great snake god. Oh, great god Albert, we bring thee gifts of fruit. Oh, do not be angry with us anymore. Send us rain for our crop. The great god is angry. He's not satisfied with our humble gifts. We should have brought you a virgin, oh great one. But we can't find any round here.
You callous little pillock. Untie me.
I'll still. Let's see. God, you are in a mess, ain't you, eh? Right, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. That little piggy screamed all the way home, didn't she? Yeah, then, yes. Right over, left. No, that's the wrong one. Left over, right. There you are.
Ooh, me legs, they're coming back to life.
Yeah, about time the rest of you did it. Go on, sit over here.
Leave me alone, I'll rub my own legs. What's the matter with you? What's got into you? You're behaving like a 5-year-old.
I'm happy, that's all. Life has smiled on me at last.
Oh, God, another bird.
No, it's better than that. Business. The winds of change are blowing through the yard. After weeks becalmed in the doldrums, the barometer has dropped and he is now hurtling through the roaring 40s. All sheets to the wind.
You've bought a boat.
I haven't bought a boat. I've had a tickle.
What do you mean?
While you have been sitting here all afternoon contemplating your navel, I have in the course of business purchased for the niggardly sum of 7.5 nicker the most exquisite example of the cabinet maker's art that has ever come into this yard.
Yeah? Where is it?
Here, stay there. You get your half pint of blood moving round first. I'll bring it in. There it is. What do you think?
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice. What is it?
What is it? It's a commode. It's an early 19th century commode. That's Regency, without a shadow of a doubt.
7.5 nicker, eh?
Plus a couple of balloons for her kids.
And she didn't know what it was?
Nah, she had no idea. She thought it was horrible. She couldn't wait to get rid of it. It didn't fit in with her inflatable armchairs. Have you any idea what this would fetch at an auction?
No.
Well, I shall put a reserve of £200 on it.
As much as that?
Certainly. Look at it.
You sure it's genuine? It's not repro?
Of course it's not repro. This is dead right. I don't go down to the GLC Antique Appreciation evening classes for nothing. You've only got to look at it. And the shape of the legs. What a finish. A brass inlay. The whole piece shouts out its intrinsic quality.
It's a nice piece of furniture. What's it for?
I told you. That's a commode. Lift the lid up.
It's got a Poe in it.
Well, of course it's got a Poe in it. What do you expect a commode to have in it? A bowler hat? And that's the whole point of it. This was an integral part of the furnishings. This was the only sanitation they had in them days. Welburn Abbey, Blenheim Palace, they all had these. That's a very good Poe too, that is. It's Crown Derby, that is.
There's no chain.
Of course there isn't a chain. That wasn't invented. The water closet didn't come in till much later. Blimey, we didn't have one till 1935. Now, in the early 1800s, this is all anybody had. Even royalty used these. Well, I mean, you couldn't expect them to have a shed in the back garden of Buckingham Palace now, could you?
Where do they keep them?
Well, wherever they happen to be most needed. I mean, sometimes they'd be on the landing, in the bedroom. Sometimes, when they had a banquet, they used to have them behind a screen in the dining room.
You're joking.
I'm not. They didn't have any inhibitions like we got today. They didn't think anything of it. I mean, if they got caught short halfway through dinner, they used to go behind the screen, then nip back in time for the next course. That way they wouldn't miss the conversation.
What a way to behave at the dinner table. Dirty devils.
They weren't dirty devils. That was a la mode. They all did it. Oh, this is an important one, this is. I mean, look at that. On the side of the Poe. That is another reason why it is so valuable.
What is it?
The Prince of Wales's feathers. That's his crest. I bet this was his own one. I should think this originally came from Brighton Pavilion. Prinny's personal privy. Oh, if only that Poe could speak. That's seen a few sights in its time, I can tell you. I mean, apart from him, there'd be Beau Brummel, Mrs. Fitzherbert, Nelson, the Scarlet Pimpernel, all sitting there doing the Times crossword. What a prize. Oh, Sotheby's will go berserk when they see this.
£200. Amazing, isn't it? The council give you 50 quid to put in a proper one these days.
Oh, well, that's progress.
There's only one thing bothers me.
What?
Well, if it's worth that much money, it doesn't seem right only giving her £7.10 for it.
What are you talking about?
Steptoe and Son has always had the reputation of paying fair prices. That's why we've got such a good name in the business.
Yeah, and that's why we haven't got any money in the bank. Look, it's not my fault if people don't know what they're selling.
It's bordering on dishonesty. I don't like it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. You were talking through the back of your head. Look, it's dog eat dog in this life, Dad. Do unto others before they do you.
I thought you was a socialist.
I am a socialist, but that's got nothing to do with it. I don't see why I should suffer just because I'm an idealist. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give her a penny more for it. It's her fault for selling it.
Well, I only hope she was a socialist then.
She wasn't. She was a Tory. She was as blue as an Eskimo's chuff, that woman. Besides, she didn't want it. I mean, she couldn't wait to get rid of it. I don't see any beauty in these things, these people. I'm sorry, Dad, I can't waste any sympathy on them. I mean, they get what they deserve.
Well, if you behave like that, you must expect it to be done to you.
Oh, don't you worry about me.
Go and see who it is.
Oh, yes, sir. Certainly, sir.
Ah, shut up.
Oi, I would appreciate it if you didn't use that commode while I am gone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Mr. Steptoe.
Yes?
I believe this is your card, Steptoe & Son.
That is correct.
Best prices paid for old antiques.
You buying or selling?
You called at my house this morning and bought a Regency commode from my wife.
Did I?
I think you did. £7.10 you paid her for it.
I did purchase a piece of furniture that might or might not be a period piece.
Well, it is.
Well, that remains to be seen. Is there something wrong?
Yes, there is. I'd like to discuss it with you. May I come in?
Yes, by all means. Would you care to step into the lounge? This is my partner and father.
Good afternoon.
How do you do? Can we help you?
Oh, there it is. Thank God you haven't sold it. I'm afraid there's been a mistake. My wife should not have sold you this piece. She didn't know the value of it.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid it's not concern of ours. She agreed the price.
You took advantage of her. This is a valuable piece of furniture. It's been in my family for years. This is a Regency commode, once the property of the Prince Regent. It originally came from the Brighton Pavilion.
See, Dad, I told you.
Yeah.
You're an antique dealer. You must have known it was worth more than £7.10.
Whether I did or not has no bearing on the matter. See, I'm in business, Mr.
Copeland.
Copeland.
This is your practice, sir.
Not at all.
It is people like you who bring the antique business into disrespect.
See, I told you.
Shut up. Going on the knocker, I believe it's called. Terrorising old ladies and innocent housewives into parting with their family heirlooms and paying them a pittance for it.
Now listen, Mush.
Mush?
That is a very serious accusation you're making. And these little old ladies you're talking about are the biggest con merchants in the business. I mean, coming out with all their Victorian crap and trying to kid you it's Georgian. I've been caught a few times, don't worry. We all learn the hard way. You must tell your wife to be more careful in the future.
Harold, this isn't the way to conduct business.
Please don't interfere.
I must have that piece back.
Cecily, I am prepared to sell it to you.
Oh, good. I'm quite happy to offer you a reasonable profit. £15.
Oh.
Very reasonable.
Oh, come on now. We all know what the piece is worth.
I see. Sentiment means nothing to you. Market value, I suppose. Very well. I'll not beat about the bush. I want it back. £150.
£150? Harold!
All right. Don't get out of your prem. It's worth more than that. Me's not doing me no favours.
It's a fair price. If you put it into auction, you'll have to pay commission and take a chance on what it fetches. £150.
Well, to show you that I am a reasonable man, I'll take it.
Will you take a cheque?
Certainly.
Not a bad profit for a day's work, is it?
That's the way it goes.
There you are.
I see you bank with Coots. My father and his friends is often in that condition. You know, as Coots. Yes, right.
I shall make arrangements to have the commode collected in the morning.
Yes, right.
No need to do that. My son will bring it round today.
No, thank you. I prefer to have it handled by experts. I warn you, if I hear of you trying anything like this again, I shall report you to the Antique Dealers Association.
If I were a member, I'd be quite concerned.
I'll see myself out.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day. 150 quid.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, don't start that again.
There's no need to cheat people.
What do you mean, cheap people? I bought something for £7.10 and I sold it for £150. That is 2,000% profits, right?
Right.
Right. Last week, you bought a suit from that old girl for £5 and you sold it to that Pakistani across the street for £5. Now, how much profit was that?
£4.15.
No, it wasn't. It was 2,000%. So up you for a start.
Well, that's not the same thing.
Of course it's the same thing.
It's not. Everybody was satisfied with my deal. The Pakistani was delighted. It was the first time he'd worn a three-piece Alice tweed suit in his life.
You didn't tell him that +4s had gone out, did you? Poor little devil. I mean, he'd only just arrived. What did he know about the way we dress? Look, I saw him yesterday. +4s down to just below his knees and bare legs right down to his sandals. He looked ridiculous.
Oh, he's only got to buy a pair of long socks. Anyway, Alec Douglas Hume still wears them.
Only when he's shooting grass. Not when he's after a job on the buses.
Yeah.
And that is not the point. You took advantage of him, so don't you get on at me. At least I'm taking advantage of people who can afford it and should know better. I mean, they've had a better education than I've had. I feel no qualms at all over the way I have conducted myself with the bourgeoisie. And if I get the chance, I shall whoop it up 'em again. I'll go. And you leave me to run my affairs my own way. I don't need you to tell me what is right and what is wrong.
Good afternoon. Are you open?
Yeah. We never close. Bit like the old windmill, really.
Good. My name is De Vere. My card. Antiques.
Rome and Venice, eh?
Yes, I opened out there years ago. That's where the money is, you know. They're buying absolutely everything at the moment, the Italians, as you probably know.
Oh, yes. I have noticed them in profusion down the Portobello Road.
Well, I ship to Italy by the lorry load. Twice a year I come to England and I load up the old articulated van and send it back over the channel. I always like to have a look around at you chaps. Never know what you might have that would interest our Roman friends. They pay top prices. They're mad about English furniture at the moment.
Really? Well, all the furniture we got is English.
Ah, well, perhaps I might have a look around.
Of course, of course. It's always a pleasure to deal with the trade.
Good.
Please, come in.
Thank you.
We keep all our cream gear in the lounge in here.
Yes, very interesting. I say, that's rather bizarre.
That's my father.
Oh. Good afternoon.
Peter, this gentleman is an antique dealer from Rome.
Is he? He don't look like a wop.
Please, Father. A little decorum, eh? The gentleman isn't an I-tie. He's English, operating in Rome. I say, this Delft vase is rather amusing, what?
Yes, hysterical. Good heavens, that is incredible.
What is...
That commode. Oh, yes, this is exquisite. This is by Hepplewhite. Is it for sale?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Ah, this is the finest example of a Regency commode I've ever seen.
Yes, it does have quite a pleasing line to it, doesn't it?
I don't believe it. The Prince of Wales' feathers.
Oh.
You realise what this must mean.
Of course.
This was undoubtedly used by the Prince Regent himself.
Well, I know that.
Are you familiar with the commodes at the Brighton Pavilion?
Not personally, no.
It could quite feasibly be one of them. It's remarkable. I'll take it.
You can't have it.
I'll give you £600 for it.
It's already sold.
£600?
Certainly, I already have a customer. Sophia Loren will buy it, sight unseen.
It's sold.
It's not.
It is.
Listen, you. Would you excuse us a moment, please, Mr. De Vere?
Of course.
If you don't mind your own business, so help me, you'll have to get a full set of gums as well.
You can't sell it, Harold. It's against the rules.
I'll make my own rules. I do beg your pardon, Mr. De Vere. My father is a little old-fashioned about these things.
Yes, well, of course, if you have already sold the piece, there's nothing more to be said. I wouldn't want to do anything unethical.
Oh, no. It's quite above board. It's a misunderstanding. I can easily get it sorted out.
Well, I'm very interested in this piece. Look, I shall call back in 2 days to ascertain if it is for sale.
It will be.
Good day to you.
Oh, permit me to show you out.
Yeah.
Now, look, there will be no trouble. You see, the man who bought it, he doesn't really want it. You see, his wife can't stand the sight of it. I'm sure we can come to some arrangement. Huh? I assure you, I wouldn't be party to anything unethical. I mean, I value my reputation above all else.
As we all do.
I shall buy it back off him. I'll offer him an handsome profit. I'm sure he'll be amenable. Tell Mrs. Loren the commode is as good as hers.
Well, if you can establish sole title to the piece, we have a deal. Please, now do your best to get it. It's a superb example. If necessary, I might even go higher than 600.
I'll get it. Don't worry, I'll get it.
No, I hope so. Goodbye.
Come on. Who are you looking at?
Stranger. That's who I'm looking at.
Oh, are you? Well, I bet you remember who I am by payday.
Oh, the commode's still here then. I thought Roman Fred was coming back yesterday.
Oh, well, he's a very busy man. I mean, I'm not the only one he deals with. He's probably scouring the country.
He's probably left the country.
What do you mean?
Well, if he was so keen to buy it, he would have been back, wouldn't he? Stands you in at a lot of money now, doesn't it?
Not really.
The bloke you brought it from in the first place has you by the short and curlies, didn't he? 350 quid you had to pay him to get it back.
How did you know? I thought you left the room because you was disgusted. You was at the keyhole, wasn't you?
Couldn't wait to write the cheque out, could you?
Well, I was naturally eager to complete the transaction.
And you had to make it out to cash as well. That's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Well, of course not. I mean, he explained that. See, when he's selling, he prefers the money not to pass through his account, as to avoid the possibility of income tax. I don't understand what it means. It's a quite normal fiscal procedure amongst we businessmen.
So it stands you in at £357.10 now?
No, it doesn't. Because I banked his cheque for the 150 straight away the same afternoon. I'm not daft, you know. So at this precise moment of time, this commode has cost me the sum of £207, 10 shilling. And as I'm about shortly to sell it for £600, I'm quite satisfied, thank you.
Honestly, you're so dim at times, aren't you? You really are. You're as thick as Mick Jagger's bottom lip. You can't see it, can you?
What?
You've been conned.
Rubbish.
You have. You've been turned over. They've had your trousers down. They're all in it together.
Who are?
Oh, go. The bird you bolted off, the so-called husband, the Italian bloke. Look, they've got this commode, see? They can't sell it to you for what it's worth because you wouldn't buy it. So she lets you think you've nicked it off her for 7.5 quid. Now her husband turns up, all indignant, shouting the odds that you got a valuable commode you only paid £7.10 for. And to show you how valuable it is, he's willing to buy it back off you at a profit. Now you know it's worth money. You get sucked in and sell it back to him for 150 quid. You're well pleased.
Of course.
Now they move in for the kill. Another bloke turns up, this time an antique dealer, an expert. He goes all frothy when he sees it. I must have it. So he gets all your juices working away by offering you 4 times what you've already sold it for, providing you can buy it back off the first bloke. Are you still with me?
Yes. No. Yes. I don't know.
Now they've got you. You, little pound signs jumping up and down in your eyeballs. You can't wait for the first bloke to come back and nick it back off him again. Greedy. That's what they count on. People wanting something for nothing. So the first bloke comes back next morning. Of course, he doesn't want to sell. Surprise, surprise.
What?
You've got to offer him £350 before he agrees to sell. You give him a cash cheque, he nips straight round to your bank and cashes it, and you never see any of them again. Simple. Like shelling peas. And you fell for it.
Peter, I have never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. When did you work all that out?
Last night, I was doing my yoga, meditating, and I saw it all in a flash. They've taken him to the cleaners, they have, I thought, and served the greedy little swine right.
Very clever. You're proper little Agatha Christie, aren't you?
Yeah.
Except for two things you've overlooked, Agatha. I have already banked the first cheque, A, for £150, and B, I still have possession of a very valuable Regency commode.
And you've overlooked two things as well. A, I phoned the bank this morning and that cheque hasn't stopped bouncing around the bank since you put it in. And B, while you was out, I got a bloke down to value the commode.
And?
£7.10. Made this year. He's looked at 14 of them this week. They're all over the district. You've been sucked in, mate, and blown out in bubbles.
Oh, God. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. I've lost £357.10.
It's your own fault. I've no sympathy. If you hadn't been so greedy, they wouldn't have been able to work it.
The fight. I could have sworn it was genuine. I mean, everything pointed to it. Everything I have been told.
Never mind. I'll tell you what I'll do. Help you to cut your losses.
Yeah. What?
Well, I wouldn't mind having that in my bedroom. Come in handy of a cold night. I'll buy it all for you.
How much?
£3.10.
£3.10? It's worth twice that much.
£4.
£6.10.
£4.15, and that's my last offer.
I'll tell you what. £4.17 and 6, without the Po.
What are you going to do with the Po?
I'm going to take it down to the GLC antique appreciation classes, because I thought the class might appreciate it when I smash it right over the teacher's rotten head. Good night.
You've been listening to Wilfred Bramble and Harry H. Corbett as Steptoe and Son, with Douglas Blackwell and Leslie Heritage. Written and adapted for radio by Ray Galton and Alan Simpson, and produced by Bobby J.